students from our department, including freshers. So they're super excited to learn from you, especially about the demands of CAD and CAM engineers. So we look forward to learn from you one. And how's everything? How's the weather in Thailand? How's did you have your breakfast?
uh, Hot, very hot, especially for German who is used to maybe 1 month of sun per year, and the other 10 to 11 months are just full of rain and cloudiness, which I know here in Asia you might like that, but we hate it. So that's why I live here and not in Germany.
No, I mean even in Bangladesh we have a trouble dealing with the hot weathers. I mean,
Yes,
especially there's a lot of trends for heat waves, and during those
yes,
time it can get pretty serious in our environment. So it is
yes.
quite same.
But then
I mean, hmm.
then
Yes,
you
sir.
can see, because it's so hot, why I chose my field of work, which is fire protection, right?
I see. Very interesting. Yeah, I mean, it is very common that during heat waves, the fire risk can be very high, and
Yes,
that's very interesting that to see the problem that you're targeting to solve. And we
yes,
also look forward to learn from your, overall experience in CAD and everything that you do. And
sure.
please, and this session has been designed in such a way just so that you can make yourself feel at home. I mean, just so that you can communicate with us freely. So feel free to share whatever you like, and we are super excited.
Thank you.
So, sir, before we would like to start the session, we would like to introduce ourselves. Okay, see,
Sure.
my name is Sifatakon, and I'm currently the social media manager of Rim Reapers, which is basically a very small university club. We are basically focused on automotive engineering. Okay, you see, vast majority of us students, we took the mechanical engineering program because we love cars. We are really obsessed with cars. Okay, see, we grew up loving Toyotas, Mercedes-Benz, and even other
Yes,
German brands, Japanese brands, every single
yes,
thing. So we're really obsessed.
yes,
Now the thing is, as in Green Reapers, what we basically did, we formed a community. Okay, community of students who are really obsessed with cars, and at the same time, we also look forward to participate in other competitions where
right.
the students would at least showcase their own project cars. So it could be Formula students, it could be Bharat Solar Vehicle competition, which happens in India, and there's also go-kart competition. So we
Right.
are looking forward to participate in those. And the main takeaway that we really want from this particular session is just so that at least we can at least know the demands behind the SolidWorks and the CAD and CAM engineering aspects, which we look forward to learn from you on. And we also have a captain here as well, I believe, Anwar Hussein Rahim. Anwar bhaiya, can you introduce yourself to our sir? Anwar bhaiya?
This is Muhammad Anwar Rahim. Yes, I am here. This is
Yes,
Muhammad
sir.
Anwar Rahim, and I am the captain of this Grim Reapers. This is basically not a club or anything. This is mainly we are focused on a team where we are basically work to do uh, formula car or go kart or many types of competition like equation marathon. So first of all, we are try to make a go kart so that our student, our junior student can based on to go this through. So that's all from my side. Shivat.
Nice to meet you. Very nice.
So,
Um,
sir, I guess
this
anything
is
else you'd like to?
Actually, this is something I will touch on later, because it's something that I have found in Bangladesh that is very interesting. You're full of talent and full of motivation and passion. I can tell simply by working with Mr. Islam now for some time. So I'm going to touch on that. And so if you'd like me to start, I'll just dive in.
Yes, sure, sir. The floor is all yours. Make yourself at
Thank
home.
you. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
very welcome.
So it's a great honor and great pleasure really for me to be here and to have you as my audience. I thank you very much for this invitation. So my name is Marcel Deke. I'm the founder and CEO of CAD. I'm a European businessman living in Thailand, and I built my company with a clear vision to plan and execute complex projects by bringing together expertise from various fields. So let me elaborate on that. At CAD, we have three core competencies under one roof. We have a specialized drafting office for fire protection, where we create precise and compliant plans to ensure building safety. We have a creative architecture office dedicated to designing, but there's also a nice crossover with fire protection there. One goes together with the other in a sense. And then we have an innovative mechanical engineering office, led especially by Mr. Islam. And we focus on the development and construction of mechanical systems. This is still under process, so I'm trying to expand on that in the European market across Germany. So I'm natively from Germany, but I'm trying to go cross borders into other countries, such as Italy, Switzerland, Austria. Yes. So our goal is to offer our clients comprehensive end-to-end solutions from the very first concept and detailed design all the way to technical implementation. We are very committed to delivering highest quality, especially in Germany. Quality is everything, as you can imagine, precision. And we want to be efficient in every project we undertake. So efficient in terms of delivery of time, speed, quality, and price. Yeah, I'm going to elaborate on that later on. So I was invited today to discuss a topic that is relevant to you. That is, what is the market demand for remote jobs and freelancers in the European market? And before I start, a special thanks goes to Mr. Islam, who has been a very valuable member of my team. And he's invited me, and he believes that my insights on working with international clients would be valuable to you. I hope it is. Our collaboration over the past years has been a great success. And I'm excited to share my experiences with you today. So let me start by telling you a bit more about the European market. Europe is not just a continent, it's a global powerhouse for innovation, advanced technology, and diverse industries. From precision engineering in Germany to cutting-edge design in Italy and manufacturing in the UK, companies across countries like Germany, France, UK, and many others are constantly seeking talented engineers to support their projects. By now, as you know, we live in a globalized world. We cannot just look at our own resources within the borders of our country. We are looking everywhere, right? There are no borders in a sense. And I would say the demand for CAD and CAM designers is not just immense, it's foundational. You have to think about it. Every single physical product you see around you, every car, every piece of machinery, every building, every complex system starts with a meticulous design. And this is precisely where your skills as CAD and CAM engineers become not just beneficial, but absolutely crucial. Proficiency in industry standard software like AutoCAD and Solidworks is your passport to this world of creation. In recent years, the global job market has undergone a profound transformation, which has been accelerated by technological advancements, global connectivity, and let's not forget also the pandemic. It has revolutionized the digital landscape all across Europe. Remote work and freelancing are no longer niche options or temporary solutions. They have firmly established themselves as common and accepted practices across many industries and major companies, some of which I've been working with, like Siemens and Bosch. It is really standard to work from home, even for their own employees. European companies are driven by the need for specialized skills, flexibility, and cost effectiveness. And so they are willing to collaborate with skilled professionals from all over the world. So there are really no boundaries, and I can really say it's an exciting time to be entering the engineering field, that's for sure. So this brings us to the core question that we aim to answer today. So questions I got asked is, why do I specifically as a European businessman choose to work with someone from Bangladesh? Or in general, why do foreign companies and entrepreneurs increasingly hire freelancers from Bangladesh? What are the advantages, disadvantages, and overall benefits of working with freelancers from Bangladesh from a European perspective? And why do I feel comfortable to work with a freelancer from Bangladesh? And the answer to that, to these questions, is multi-layered. They stem from both practical business consideration and the recognition of talent. I have to say it as it is. It's really at its heart. It comes down to a simple but powerful truth, and I would like you all to remember this truth. Talent knows no boundaries. It doesn't just belong to a certain country. Talent is everywhere, and that's a fact. So as an entrepreneur, my primary goal is to find the best talent that can help my project succeed, my company grow, and my clients receive the highest value. So through my experience, I have discovered that Bangladesh is a country with immense, often untapped potential. It is home to a vast pool of highly qualified, incredibly motivated and dedicated engineers. Mr. Islam is one paragon of example for this, really. So let me elaborate a bit more on the specific reasons why collaborating with freelancers from Bangladesh has been so advantageous and beneficial for my company. One, and I've put this on the top of my list because it is really the most important one. It's price competitiveness. Okay, it's one of the most evident and compelling benefits in the cost structure. The cost of living in Bangladesh is significantly lower compared to Europe. That's just a fact. This translates directly into a highly competitive hourly rate for high quality work. So for me, as a European entrepreneur, this means I can access top tier design and engineering work at a fraction of the cost that I would typically incur if I were to hire locally in Europe. And this isn't about, please don't get me wrong, this isn't about cutting corners. It's about smart economics. This creates a true win-win situation. This is what it has to be, win-win for both parties. You, the talented engineers, receive fair compensation for your valuable skills, enabling you to build a sustainable career. And my company can operate more efficiently, allow me to remain competitive in the global market and take on more projects. And this efficiency ultimately benefits our clients and fuels our growth. So if you think about it, it's a three-way win-win situation for you, for me, but also for the European market, right? Now, the second point, and I've put it on the second place. I was almost about to put it on the first place because it's really so important, and I will give you a very specific example, and that is communication skills. So I must be honest and say that I am very impressed by the communication skills of the engineers I have worked with. The majority of people I've worked with possess very good English language proficiency, and that is very important. It's absolutely vital for seamless collaboration on international projects. In remote work, you have to have a clear, concise, and effective communication. That's just not important. It's really the cornerstone of every successful business relationship. We rely heavily on written communication, video calls, and other project management tools. My experience has shown that the ability to articulate ideas, ask clarifying questions, and provide timely updates, it's consistently very strong, right? And this has allowed me to avoid misunderstandings. There haven't been many misunderstandings, right? And that saves me time. It accelerates my project timeline if I don't have to waste time on communication issues. And I can build very strong working relationship, even though we come from very different geographical locations, right? So I cannot stress this enough, and I will go into this a bit more in detail later on. So the third point would be reliability. Really, in the business world, reliability is paramount, and it doesn't matter which European country you want to focus on, but I can tell you this from a German perspective, reliability is everything. You have one chance, you have one shot and only one shot. You don't get a second chance. Usually, no one gives you a second chance, not in Germany. Because this is about trust. And what is trust? Trust is me being able to predict what you do. So if you promise me you will deliver something on day X, but you don't deliver, that means you are unpredictable. Once you are unpredictable, you're not trustworthy. If you're not trustworthy, how can I make promises to the client? And I'll talk about this later. The deadlines are never fair. In this global market, there are no fair deadlines. I get asked by the client if I can deliver something in 24 hours, basically an impossible task. But I strive to make the impossible possible. And by doing so, I gain an edge, right? I am more competitive. But that means I need to have a team behind me where I know they are predictable in a sense. I know they can do it, right? Without overstressing them in a sense. So you need to be, it's so valuable to have someone who is reliable. I can deliver on my promises, and yeah, it's very crucial for the satisfaction of the client. And last but not least, it's the precision and proficiency. So the quality of the design that I get has been consistently excellent, and that's also very important. The quality of the designs must be on top. Now, don't expect to always deliver the highest. Like you cannot always know exactly what the customer wants, but then it's my job to communicate. That's why communication skills are so important. We need to be able to communicate fluently as possible. And then it's up to you to work independently, as independent as you can, because we don't really want to bother the client with too many questions, right? Once he feels like basically you are relying too much on his guidance, it's a bit of an annoyance for many clients. You want to work as independently as possible, right? And for that, once again, communication is paramount. I give you an example. So I've had a recent fire protection, and the client made some changes to the floor plan. And there are many chain reactions in fire protection. So how does this affect how I design my walking lines, my infiltration routes, and so on? So Mr. Islam took the initiative. He considered the implications of that change. He went through the plans, and he just independently, he made the adjustments needed. I didn't have to tell him every single adjustment. I didn't have to hold him by his hand. He did it independently, and that's very important. So the key word here is the ability to transfer, the ability to extract a lesson from a body of work and then apply it and transfer it to various scenarios. You cannot be prepared for every scenario out there, but you can try to adapt and adjust from a set amount of body of work that you have, right? And in that respect, Mr. Islam is really highly proficient, because he's also highly proficient in AutoCAD. It's very easy then to communicate and to get through these projects in a comfortable way, right? And that's what's made me so confident and comfortable to work with him. So obviously there can be challenges. So let me talk a bit about the challenges that there are. Time zone difference, big challenge, depending on who you work with. You might require some very flexible scheduling when you're working with clients from different time zones. Then there are religious festivities. Please consider, we Europeans have mainly a Christian background. So mostly we are unaware of some of your religious festivities. So sometimes maybe there's a month where you change your time schedule when you work, when you don't work, and we are not really aware of that. So communication is really, really important. Once again, I come back to communication. It is for you to help me plan for these, I would say, cultural differences and religious differences, so I can plan, put them in my schedule, and not make false promises to the client. What we want to avoid is making false promises to the client. And for that, I need to know, when is my team active? When is it able to work on a project, and when it's maybe less available for some reason or the other, right? But at the end of the day, I can say, from my perspective, the advantages far outweigh any disadvantages that I've experienced now with Mr. Islam. So what does all of this mean for you? It means there's a world of opportunities waiting for you, especially in the European market. However, to seize these opportunities, you must really develop the right skills and strategically align yourselves with the demands and expectations of the European market. So what would that be? One, really, you must master the software, become an expert. This is not negotiable. Invest significant time and dedicated effort to really master softwares like AutoCAD and Solidworks. This is a must. They're not just programs, they're your industry standard tools. Your expertise in these packages will make you very highly sought after, right? Don't just think of the basics. Go beyond the basics. See what are the current developments in the market. AI, maybe in AutoCAD it's Lisps. Be creative with that and really go over and beyond. There are numerous online resources, specialized courses, and so on. What you need is practice daily to work on complex projects and to strive for mastery. Maybe you will not be asked for your specialized, I would say, skill that you've promoted in or that you have studied in. Maybe that's not exactly what the customer wants from you, but what the customer wants from you is that you're fluent with the software. I've had customers working with me, I've had workers, freelancers working with me, and I had to explain to them how AutoCAD works. And this is annoying. Really, this is annoying. I want someone who is fluent, who knows what he does. I don't need to explain it to him. He knows what to do by himself. So it's your duty to be fluent at working with these software. Then obviously develop your communication skills. So continuously, I cannot stress this enough, improve your English, both written and spoken. In a remote setting, clear and effective communication is absolutely crucial to avoid misunderstandings. So consider joining English conversation clubs, maybe watching technical webinars in English, reading industry publications. The better you communicate, the more effectively you can work and build trust. I can tell you from my experience with Siemens, who has really tried to expand into India, for example. And I can tell you it has not gone very well. This is a bit of insider knowledge, but it has actually failed. Why has it failed? Well, India is very competitive in terms of price compared to Germany, but it has failed because of communication and responsiveness. So it took too long to respond to any project demands, and communication has been disastrous. So without beating around the bush, but especially if you work with Germany, they're also maybe not necessarily native English speakers. So if they struggle and then you struggle and both struggle with the language skills, it's not going to work. There's too much annoyance. Then the price competitiveness is not an argument anymore, especially not for big companies like Siemens. They can afford to pay the price. They can afford to pay whatever rate. It's not about money then in that case. It's really about how smooth is everything. How smooth does it go in terms of communication, and what is the quality that they get in return, right? So I will soon get a new link, it seems. So I will just switch to a new, yes?
Yes.
Yes, sir. By the
Please
time the meeting
rejoin
over.
this new link.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, then see you in soon.
So we will rejoin. So everyone, I will be providing the link in the messenger group. So be sure to join from that. So, sir, I will
Yes.
end the meeting right now, and we will chat from there.
Okay,
Very sorry about
okay.
the miscommunication.
No worries. No
Here.
worries.
Sure, sir. Let's see, set up the meeting settings here, host controls, just, sorry, open, meeting should be open.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, sir, everything is perfect.
Great.
Okay, and sir, let us wait for 1 minute, and then everyone will be right back. I believe there was 42. I guess we have a really big audience right now. But since this is a university club, and all of us try to do it as the most cost-effective way as possible, also
Sure.
without cutting the corners.
Sure. No worries. No worries. I have time.
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm very grateful for the fact that you have done, because, sir, you should at least understand that to have a foreign guests here in Bangladesh is a big deal, and
Is
for
it,
a
yeah?
club who is really small, we are how can I express this? My word is very unexpressible. I feel so grateful to have a guest like you. To be honest, all of us are
Thank you. No,
excited.
thank you. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure,
You're very
really.
welcome, sir. So just there are 11 of us right now. The rest will get the message. After that, we will continue from the topic of CMNs and their interactions with Indians that they had.
Right.
So let me forward the link for a moment, and then I'll get the green light.
Right. May I ask, the audio quality is fine? Is okay? Yes?
Sir, your audio is perfect, sir.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes, sir. Okay, let's get the rest. And then we will make like, where's the other? I believe. We're thinking of the 6 increasing right now. Rapidly. 20. Okay, sir, I guess you can start right now because the boys are just coming in. And one more thing, the funniest thing about this, meeting break here is that by the time the meeting ends, those who actually rejoins are the ones who are actually paying attention, and they're serious ones. Because during the time when the speech is being delivered, people fall asleep. So again, I guess we should continue. You were talking about the CMN's interactions with India and the
Yes,
miscommunications they had back and forth. So you may
absolutely.
start from there, sir.
Yes, exactly. So,
Floor is all yours.
thank you. Thank you. So there you can see again, as I was mentioning again, it's not always about money. Price, I put price competitiveness before on number one, but I was really struggling with that and communication. And I remember my time as a student, and maybe the students here might share my sentiment. Most of the time we are more concerned and worried about our hard skills. So am I proficient enough in what I'm doing? Is my expertise and understanding deep enough? And so on. And that is all valid. But please do not underestimate the power of communication, the way you come across, manners, and so on, the soft skills, so to speak. And they are very, very just as important, maybe even more important, because they are the door opener in this field. And this example I just brought up between Siemens in India is really an exemplary case where the price competitiveness was there, but as far as communication went, it didn't really work out well, and that's off-putting for the clients, and that's a fact. So the last point I wanted to stress, no, not the last point. The next point was actually, if you want, or if you're trying to focus on the European market, please try to understand the European standards. So you should familiarize yourself with the technical standards and norms and the best practices commonly used in Europe. So in fire protection, we have the DIN norms. In Germany specifically, there are various DIN norms. They are freely accessible online. You can just Google for them. You can just Google for ISO standards and DIN norms in the field of fire protection, for example, in Germany. You will come across plenty of online resources for free, be it fire protection, be it cars and auto mechanic engineering. It doesn't matter. You will come across plenty of resources online for free. Familiarize yourselves with the European ISO standards. This knowledge is critical for delivering designs that are immediately usable and compliant with European manufacturing and safety regulations. So this can be achieved through research, as I said. You can seek mentorship from experienced engineers, such as Mr. Islam, who has worked on European projects with me. So however you go about it, understanding these standards will set you apart and make you a more valuable asset to international clients. Because usually we don't expect, when we go on a freelancing site, we really don't expect someone to be familiar with our European DIN norms and standards. Usually people are familiar with American standards. That's just the way it is. But if you are just familiar with specifically maybe the German context or the British context, that will set you apart, right? Very much so. Don't underestimate that. Obviously, now I will mention other cases like your visual resume, also very important. So create a compelling and professional collection of your best design and engineering work to present yourself, to set yourself apart. So this portfolio will be your visual resume, showcasing your abilities, creativity, problem-solving skills, and such. So it can include academic projects, it can include personal projects, any conceptual designs you've created for each project. Try to explain the challenge and how you approach that challenge, the software you used, and the final outcome of it. These high-quality visuals and clear descriptions, they are key because they, in a sense, are your opportunity to demonstrate your practical skills. So when I went on the website and I saw Mr. Islam's portfolio, I saw what he was able to do, and I thought, bloody hell, talent really doesn't know any boundaries. That's amazing. That's absolutely astonishing. And it starts with a visual portfolio that is compelling. And that's very important, right? To attract, to pull my eye. We all judge first with our eye. That's just a fact. And last but not least, you have to be reliable and professional. So again, be punctual and consistently meeting deadlines, honoring agreements, maintaining a professional attitude. They're just fundamental. These are qualities. They are not just good manners. They are essential for building long-term trusting relationships with clients. And once they can feel and see that you are very reliable, you are professional, you honor the agreement, you deliver on your promises, you have a client maybe even for a lifetime, right? And that's even better than a lifetime employment at a company, because you don't know how long that company will survive, especially in these dire economic situations that we are all facing across the world. But to have at least one client that is true to you, loyal to you, the way you are loyal to the client, that can mean quite a bit of stability, right? So always over-deliver on your promises, be proactive in communication, treat every client's interaction with the utmost professionalism, because your currency is your reputation. Your reputation will precede you, and that is your true currency. Not your portfolio, not the way you may try to present yourself. It's actually the reputation that you built over the years. That is such a valuable currency, and you should never, ever underestimate that. It all starts with professional attitude and mindset. It takes a lot of discipline, and it's not always very easy, but that's the foundation of every successful collaboration, right? So let me share I think we are now approaching the end of my speech. Let me share a bit my vision for the future. I'm really profoundly convinced that there is an enormous untapped potential here in Bangladesh. The quality of education, the inherent motivation of the students, the competitive cost structure, collectively, all of this makes Bangladesh an incredibly attractive and a strategic location for remote engineering work. Therefore, today, I want to strongly encourage each and every one of you to take the next step. I have already mentioned that Mr. Islam is an integral and highly valued part of my team. He has proven his abilities, and I believe that he has also, as I know, he has a vision. I believe in his vision as well to build, to make Bangladesh a bit of a hub for remote freelance working. And I want to support him in this endeavor to build a dedicated team of talented CAD and CAM designers right here in Bangladesh, a team that is prepared and capable of collaborating with other European companies, expanding the reach of Bangladeshi engineering talent. So please try to imagine this for a moment. You could be part of a local team working directly with real European clients on exciting projects, gaining invaluable international experience and simultaneously contributing to establishing Bangladesh as a leading hub for high quality engineering freelancing. So this is not just about individual jobs. This is really about building a reputation for your country in the global engineering landscapes. And it starts with you, with each and every one of you. So I warmly invite you to connect with Mr. Islam. He can surely help pave the way and offer you practical advice on how to further enhance your skills and prepare for remote work. The future is global, and you have a unique and powerful opportunity to be a significant part of it. Seize this chance, acquire the necessary skills, build your networks, and then just be ready to conquer the world with your talent. So I'm really excited about the prospect of future collaborations, and I'm sure each one of you will achieve lots of success. I wish you all the best of success. And with that being said, I thank you very much for your kind attention. So I'd be very happy to open the floor for any questions you may have. Please feel free to ask me anything that comes to mind.
Okay, Marcel, thank you so much for this beneficial speech. And it's very it seems to me that the most fundamental aspect is the skills that you have, your communication skill, the price competitions, and the reliability.
Absolutely.
So it's very important for us to see, and very important reminder for us as well, because it is so common that yet it is very neglected. So there are many students who are actually raising their hands just to ask you questions. So everyone, now we may start our question answer session where you may ask any questions you like. The more related it is to the topic, the better it is. But you may ask whatever questions you like. So the first question is Mahmoud Shahriar. So Mahmoud, you may ask your question. The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I'm just a junior from the 242 batch of my university. So, for my question, I think um, to build a efficient portfolio, what do you think we should the skills we need to be developed the most?
I would say really focus, as I said before, your passport is at least into the European market. Really, are these two softwares, AutoCAD, Solidworks? It really depends what you're striving to get into. But so in my company, really, we mainly focus on AutoCAD because there's such a wide range of things that can be done. And so I would focus on the software you're able to you're fluent with. Let me tell you, I was looking not for someone who was into fire protection that much, because I cannot expect someone from Bangladesh to be aware of the the requirements in the German context. But what I was looking for is someone who is flexible enough and fluent enough in various softwares such as AutoCAD, because then the rest I could teach and I could convey the knowledge needed. But what I didn't want to convey, the knowledge that I didn't want to relay, is how to basically use the software. So highlight each and every software that you're fluent with. The more the better, especially your mastery, where you gain some level of mastery. That's essential for every portfolio, because even though you may not offer exactly what the client is looking for, but because you mastered a certain software, the client knows with that software there's a ton of stuff you can do with it. So if I like the price and I like maybe your pictures, and I saw the work, the quality of work that you presented in your portfolio, your designs, your drafts, and your projects, and I see all that, I can see how fluent you are with it, then I say, look, would you be open to the idea maybe to switch to a different area of work, because I see you're fluent with this software, and let's try to use your abilities and your skills in a different section, be it fire protection, be it HVAC, be it whatever it is that is architecture. It doesn't matter really, because I am looking, in the end, I'm maybe not looking especially for that, for hard skill. I might just be a client looking for someone who's got this reliability, which is really hard to find, especially, I'm afraid to say, in the Asian context. I've been working with Chinese, Filipino, Thai, in the Indian field. It's very hard to find reliable people. So I was looking just for someone to be very fluent at some software such as AutoCAD, which is used in my field. And then the rest, I was willing and open-minded to teach and to pass on the knowledge. But as long as I, in return, get a reliable and a well-versed in that particular software, well-versed practitioner, in a sense. I hope that answers a bit your question.
I wanted to ask another one. Will you let me?
Sure.
I was thinking, by the things that you said, we should include our projects more. That we will be trustworthy to you guys. So the trust and the reliableness is the main key. Right? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That defines it. Thank you.
My pleasure.
So thank you, Mohammed, for your beneficial question. Because everyone needs a portfolio. Because without a portfolio, who's gonna know your work? It's a very important aspect. Anyone else have any questions? The floor is open for everyone else. Okay. I guess there's no question right now. Marcel, the floor is yours. You may ask.
In European market, what types of certifications or course help to increase credibility in the European market for design sector? Any certification or course need, such as CSWA, CSWP, and others?
Well, it surely helps, and I'd say there's no certification, and that will not be helpful in one way or another. But don't expect any of that to necessarily impress right away. The thing is, as I said before, you have to familiarize yourself, at least on a theoretical level. You might not be able to take an exam now. It depends really. Europe it's not like America, where you have many federal states. You have to really be specific about the country that you're focusing on. So I personally, I speak for the German area, and there the certificates and norms you just mentioned, Mr. Islam did something similar when I got in touch with him. He mentioned, because I was looking for exit plans, rescue and exit plans, and he mentioned the norms and certificates that he achieved, and while I honestly, they don't mean much within the German field because they are not our standards, and that's what I was on about before. You first of all, you have to pinpoint or really narrow down where are you trying to focus on, and then so say you're trying to focus on the UK, and then you focus in. I take my field of experience, which is fire protection. Then you would have to, or in Germany, you would have to go into the DIN norm 14675. That's just, but that's really something you can ask nowadays easily. You can find out what are the norms of that specific country. Your certificates, it's good to have. And I guess, especially if you attract American clients, they'll be happy to see that. But clients don't necessarily look for certificates in that respect, or it's more, I would say they are more pleasantly surprised once they find out that you're actually familiar with the standards and ISO norms of their respective country. And again, Europe is very diverse. You have France, you have Italy, you have Spain, and so on. Each country has their own norms. It's unfortunately, Europe is a very collective term, but it's not unified, not codified like it is in the US. So I'm afraid the answer here to give you is really, it's good to have, and it's never wrong to have whatever certificates you can attain or achieve, but don't expect that to be your unique selling point. That's not going to be it. What's it going to be are other factors that I would focus on. As I said before, if you can familiarize yourself with some of the country's specific norms and DIN norms and ISO norms, whatever you're focused on, that's something that will impress the customer and that will make everything run smoother. And then there are other factors, of course, communication and so on. I'm afraid I cannot say more to that. Yeah.
So Marcel, I'm interrupt.
Sure.
Yeah, I have a question. So someone has he has a skill but no certificate. Do you hire him? Which one is
Yes.
important, certificate or skills?
Skill.
That's
I don't
nice.
care about any of that. And
Or who has certificate but they don't know the software or skills, then
they're out.
that is the
They're out.
question answers.
That is out. Sorry for making a long-winded answer, but yes, to make it simple, because I have taught people what even the software and everything that really had all the certificates, but didn't really know how to use the software, and that was very annoying and off-putting for me. So I don't really care that much about certificates. What I care about first, how you come across. So a nice picture is definitely a door opener. How do you come across? And your portfolio. So what designs do you have to show? What is your specialization? What software have you mastered? Are you fluent with? And that's it for me. I don't really care about your certificates. They don't mean much anyway in the international landscape, because they are maybe acknowledged in one country and another country doesn't acknowledge them. You are entering the global field, and the global field only cares about skills, mainly about skills. Certificates, I found, become more important within the borders of your own country, where they are recognized, where they are acknowledged. But here we are talking about skills, only skills, nothing else.
Sir, thank you very much for your question. I guess I also have a question right now. Even as a host, I am also curious.
Sure.
Yes, sir. You see, sir, there is one thing that I was really surprised to find out about you. You know, it's that you rarely use social media. Like when I was talking with Islam yesterday at night, he was like, "How unsocial are you to not use social media?" Like he was telling me that I was very unsocial because I wanted to connect with you. So, can you at least tell us how we should look into social media, because we are really into it, and at the same time, how we can utilize it to connect with people like you and others as well. So, tell us about it.
Okay, look, in my case, I've been in a fortunate position, And I cannot take my case as a standard case. What worked for me surely may not work for others. I've just been in a very fortunate position that I had, let's say, old school social network. I just knew people in person, right? So that's a bit old school. But you build a network from there. What speaks for you ultimately, never underestimate, in a sense, mouth to mouth. Your work speaks for you, most and foremost. So nowadays, because you're trying to entering a European market, but you live in Bangladesh, you rely heavily on that. I did not have to rely on that. As a European living in Germany, I already had my German network in Germany. And from there, I let my work speak for myself. What is important is that people know that that is your work. So I had to make sure that people understand what you're getting right now comes from me. This is me. So this is important. In a sense, I try to make my work with a bit of a signature, right? So because I deliver cards and exit plans and stuff like that, I always make sure there's my name and my logo and everything, in a sense, my signature, because I don't care so much about the social media. That is true, because by now I've managed to make my work that has my signature on it speak for me. And then there's a great power of I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just lucky. Maybe it's just luck. I don't know. But it's really the power of mouth to mouth, in a sense. People see and notice, and then they recommend. So one company goes to the other company and says, you know, I just found this company abroad from Thailand, Signcats, is crazy. These guys are crazy. I just gave them a project. They just delivered in 24 hours, responded within the same day, delivered within 24 hours, and I didn't find a single mistake. That is just unbelievable. And that goes from what, I don't believe you, I have to test that for myself. So some even want to challenge you then. And then, okay, let's see, can you do that? And yes, we can. But I can only do that because I have a team that I can rely on. So I know what my team can do, I know what I can do, and I know the promises I can make. And I don't promise what I cannot keep. That's important. And then the work speaks for you. So, but that is a very fortunate position that I have been in as a individual. Is that an approach that I can recommend to you? I'm not sure I can do that. You do heavily depend on social media. I'm maybe just too old for it, but you obviously you depend on it, because that is your gateway to enter international markets. But from there, I would also not put too much weight on it either, because what speaks for you ultimately, you just, out of 100 customers, you just need one. You just really need one who really appreciates your work. And this one customer will do the advertising for you. He will spread the word. And this one customer that is loyal to you, it's a chain effect. It's really a chain effect, right? So as long as you deliver consistently on a high level, and people feel like it's easy to talk to you, it's easy to communicate their needs, their specific needs, and it doesn't take much revision and editing after the project has been delivered. It will run by itself, almost, I would say. Right. So that's what I can say to this topic. I'm afraid I'm just too maybe laid back for social media.
So be as organic as possible. I like it. To be honest, this is like the best. You know, passing the card, meeting in person, connect with people by heart.
Yes.
That's something beloved to me.
Yes.
Okay, so there are 3 more people in the question answer sessions who are actually interested. Khandakar Shah, the floor is yours. You may ask your question. Khandakar.
Hello, sir. I am from mechanical department. So I have a question. In mechanical engineering, design is very important for making every component easier to build. Mainly, I mean the 3D models.
Yes.
So my question is, if I already have learned the Solidworks and AutoCAD, what would you suggest I learn next for advanced designing?
So what I would start to look into is, to be honest, I got a tip that's a while ago now from a customer within Siemens in Germany. and he recommended BIM, BIM. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Specifically, of course, this is into the building and construction industry. I don't know how much that will help you, but basically, I cannot really speak for your area because that is out of my area of expertise. What I can say is we are moving. There's a trend that we can observe, and we are moving more and more towards AI-supported software, things that accelerate maybe the process of development. See, the way I lead my company, in a sense, I try to, some companies are very huge, very big, and they have maybe hundreds of employees. I manage to run it with a very small amount of employees. And the reason being is because we are quite efficient within the software that we are using. We use AI to help us. We use specifically in AutoCAD, we use many lists. I have some software engineers at my disposal that really help me enhance the productivity and the efficiency in which we deliver some projects. So I cannot really tell you exactly specifically what kind of software, especially in your area. I'm afraid that's out of my expertise. You might want maybe to get in touch with Mr. Islam. He's more into this, but just as a general focus, I would really look into any type of software that helps you accelerate, be more efficient, make the process more automatic in a way that frees you and your time and makes it easier for you basically to deliver more in short amount of time. That's really in the construction business right now. It would be BIM, which encompasses many different sections like fire protection and electrical, HVAC, and so on and so forth. Right. I'm afraid I cannot give you more specifics because that is really not my field of expertise.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you very much for your beneficial question as well. Qazi Sazzad Bhaiya, you may ask your question. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Marcel Deke, for this beautiful moment. So I would like to ask you a question, which is, which platform do you need to look for to present ourselves, like Fiverr, LinkedIn, or Upwork, like to be present our skills, our communication skills to the European clients, on where we can show our profile to them?
So I personally, used a lot, and I think many in the European, I cannot speak obviously for every European country, but in my, in the German context, we use a lot of freelancer.com, Fiverr. Those are the most common platforms, I would say. Upwork, Google, and so on, the people per hours, these are all platforms obviously that you can aim for, but the main 2 ones or 3 ones would be Upwork, Fiverr, and Freelancer. They are very common, at least in this in the German context. Excellent platforms. They offer you as a freelancer a lot of protection, and me as a customer a lot of protection. So I know that I don't have to pay if the work delivered is not to my quality standards, but at the same time, you know that the money has been deposited, and you will get paid for the work that has been delivered. We all have a certain degree of protection there, both the client and you as the freelancer. And so to answer your question, make it short, these would be the 3 platforms I personally would recommend, because those were the platforms I was looking for and mainly got my team together: Fiverr, Freelancer, and Upwork.
Thank you. Thank you for the insights.
Welcome.
Okay, GM Nasrullah, you may ask your question now.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
So I had a question that when you or other European companies need to hire an individuals to their institutions, in that time, do you advertise when their need or hire all experienced or efficient personnel?
Sorry, I didn't understand the question there. Could you
Um,
repeat that?
I mean, when you need to hire an individuals to your institution, in
Yes.
that time, do you advertise your needs or to hire all experienced or efficient personalities?
Okay, okay, I understand. How I went about it, I personally, I did not advertise my company. So I didn't put my company in there and say, I'm looking for, I specifically went to the website and I put in some keywords looking for what I thought would be valuable in my company. So I was looking for someone proficient with a specific software. So I put in AutoCAD, I put in engineer, architect, and then the filter I put obviously was the price as well and the English proficiency. So these are filter options that I have as a client. And I don't really advertise myself as a company. I really go specifically looking for people that I am in need of. So if I'm in need of an architect, that's what I'll be looking for. But it depends really on the specific need. The filter option allows me to look specifically for the individuals. Price, language, and proficiency with a certain software. And that was a bonus. A bonus for me was if someone had some previous experience in my area, be it fire protection or architectural background. Something in that respect was a bonus. I did not build everything around that because ultimately I know I cannot expect someone to have experience when I hire someone from India, China, Bangladesh. I cannot expect them to have experience within the German field. But what I do hope to find is someone who looks friendly enough, offers a competitive price, is fluent at English, and who I can communicate with. And then basically it's a bit, yeah. It's scrolling through, it's hit and miss. I've had many misses, I've had some hits, few hits. And mostly why the hits turned into misses, it's because not reliable enough. So everyone likes to present themselves in the greatest possible ways, and that's what you must do. You are advertising yourself, so you present yourself the best way. But at the end of the day, I can see how long do you need to deliver something. I give you a chance because you seem friendly enough, you look friendly enough, at least on the photo, but then I see how long you take and the quality that you deliver, and I know right away, no, that's not it, right?
Thank
Sorry.
you, sir.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir, thank you very much. Actually, the question which Nasrullah posed is a very interesting one. Why? Because here in Bangladesh, there are two types of universities, public and private. Okay, there are also other types, but these two are basic, very primary. Now, the thing is, those who got chance in public universities are prioritized over everything else in Bangladesh. So as a result, private university students, they end up feeling inferior. Inferior in a sense that we don't feel like we're worth anything. Our lab facilities are worse, so we feel bad. But this was like the illusion we suffer.
No, don't, please don't, because I can tell you one thing. You are now entering, you are leaving the borders of your country. Basically, you are entering the grand stage, so to speak. And on the grand stage, we don't really care. I would wager, and I would say most Europeans, if they're even aware about the specifics of Bangladesh, I mean, that's a huge feat. We wouldn't know what's the difference between a private institution and a government institution. We wouldn't know. How would we? If most Germans know the difference between India and Bangladesh, that's amazing. No, sorry. But what I'm trying to say is, it really, don't get hung up on these specifics. They may apply to your country, but on the international stage, they don't matter 1 inch, not 1 inch. The only thing that matters here is, are you competitive as far as the price is concerned? That's the number one. That's why I put it on the top of the list. Do you come across as a friendly person, as a nice person that I want to talk to? Yeah, so these are human. Again, I said it before, soft skills, don't underestimate them. We are all concerned about the hard skill. Which software should I learn? What should I focus? Where should I promote myself? And they are important. No question, no doubt about it. But please don't underestimate your soft skills. How do I come across? How is my ability to communicate? And then you've got it. If you hook someone, just with that, your price competitiveness and the rest. Now it must be your skill and your skill alone. Whether you acquired your skill in a private university or whether you acquired your skill in a government university, who cares? Who cares? Because if I was looking for that, I mean, most degrees from people who graduate from Thailand or I'd say even Bangladesh, they're not recognized anyway in most Western countries. They're not recognized. Right? Unless maybe you're talking about an international, but then still you would have to take a placement test and so on and so forth. So there's no difference. We make no difference between private or government. We care about skill and skill only. So there's no need for any feeling of inferiority or whatever. No place for that, no need for that, not at all. We care about skill. I care about skill. That's why I'm working so well with Mr. Islam. Obviously, it takes some open-mindedness, and you cannot expect everyone to approach this topic with the same open-mindedness. But there are plenty of people, especially the younger generation, I would say. They know there's a huge untapped potential in the Asian market. Europe, on the other hand, really is struggling. We are very much struggling in Europe to find the same amount of qualified workers, at least for a competitive price. It's not competitive, and no one benefits from that. Neither do the companies, neither do the clients. No one profits. But that's why we are really looking into the Asian market. And for many years, obviously, India has been leading in that field. China has tried. But China is basically just buying every company, every possible company, and just buying everything. But that's not the topic of today. India is obviously very much forward still, but I think the market is oversaturated there. Bangladesh is now, I think, an emerging country, and really don't care too much about private or whatever government. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all.
Actually, you just put tears on my eyes. Like, you make me feel very important right now. I feel so important. To be honest, it really put tears in my eye because I've been facing this trauma for years, and everyone here faces this trauma. It's very common here in Bangladesh. You just opened our eyes, enlightened us. It's very beneficial.
My pleasure.
Okay, Shahriar Hussein Pial. Shahriar Hussein Pial, the floor is yours. You may ask your question. This might probably be the last one.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, let me ask you a question. I am a fresher in the mechanical department of my university. I have a basic understanding and idea about both AutoCAD and SolidWorks, but should I proceed like that or just select one and master it and go on like that?
Did I understand your question correctly? You're asking me whether you should post that you have basic skills in AutoCAD and SolidWorks, or whether you want to promote it in a different way, like, or whether you should master it. Did I get that right?
I asked, what should I master for? Should I just learn both simultaneously or just select one and
Good
master
question.
it?
Okay, got it. Thank you. Yes, good question. I personally, but I cannot speak for every client. I personally, I'm a purist. I am a huge fan of mastering one thing before moving on to the next. However, I am aware that you don't really know. It depends really, what are you aiming for? What are you focused on? So I can tell you that really AutoCAD, especially in the German context, is the most widespread software. And if you can say, okay, I've mastered that software, that really helps. But on the other hand, there are plenty of arguments to say you are narrowing down the potential clients interested in you if you just mention one software. I would not, in the beginning, as long as you're not quite sure yet which path do you want to go, which country what are you focused on, or what does the client really require from you, as long as you cannot narrow it down, I personally would think it might be advisable to spread your portfolio. So get into AutoCAD to a certain degree. I wouldn't say too much mastery in the beginning. Put some work into SolidWorks just to spread your sheet, to spread your portfolio, and then dive deeper later on. Because in the beginning now you don't know, you're fishing, right? You're in the big ocean, you're fishing for a fish, and you don't really know what type of fish are you going to get. It might be now that you invested a lot of time into AutoCAD, but at the end of the day, that's not what the client really is looking for. You get most clients, most of them are really just looking for something else, and the other way around. So unless you can narrow it down in the beginning, it might be more advisable to spread your knowledge. Spread it first, and once you've hooked something, I would say then you can dive deeper later on. I mean, that is possible. I come from, actually, I have a very diverse background. Maybe if you notice, so I come from a very different field, and so and that hasn't stopped me to dive deeper into something that was very alien to me. You have time. You have plenty of time to dive deeper later on along in the course of your career. But in the beginning, for you, you're trying to attract as many customers as you can. And for that, I would spread your portfolio in a way, not too thin. Don't spread it too thin, because just a very, very basic of a little bit of that, a little bit of here and a little bit of that, that's not going to get you far. As I said, once you hooked someone, but then you don't really deliver, you lost the customer. So you want to bring it to an intermediate level, I would say. Bring it not to a mastery, that might be too much, but bring it to a certain intermediate level in AutoCAD. Move on SolidWorks to a certain intermediate level, and then take it from there. See what customers you hook up, and then dive into that specifically. You have plenty of time for that.
Thank you. I really need the information. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Sir, I guess we will have one more person to handle our questions, and then I think your time will be over, which I really don't want to. I really don't want to. Time is our biggest enemy now, because I'm just enjoying this session. It's like the best moment of my month.
I'm glad to hear that.
So,
glad to hear it. Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Good morning,
Jahan,
sir.
you may ask your question.
Good morning, sir. I am Tasnim, and I have a question that what other software besides ANSYS is used for simulation in industrial applications? Or which software skills should be developed for aerospace engineering or automotive industries apart from ANSYS? And another question is, why we cannot 2D geometry from SolidWorks be added to ANSYS? Thank you, sir.
I'm afraid I cannot answer that question. I'm very, very sorry, but I cannot answer that question. As I said before, that goes beyond my area of expertise. So there, in that case, it might be more advisable to consult maybe some online resources, because I really cannot speak for that. It is out of my area of expertise. I am trying to build on that, but I'm not there yet, so I'm afraid I cannot help you with that. Very sorry.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Okay, so I guess we don't have any more questions. Sir, so can you tell us, how do you feel like the overall session from the start to finish right now?
It's been a pleasure, really. It's been a pleasure to talk to you guys. And as I can see, really, I mean, you've confirmed what I basically experienced also with Mr. Islam. You've confirmed it, that you have a lot of talent there, and you have a lot of passion and motivation, and you have the knowledge and the skills. I really enjoyed talking to you, even though I'm very sorry I wasn't able to answer every question, unfortunately. But I can tell that all of you have a huge amount of potential and possibilities. I would like you to believe in yourself and really offer it. Just present yourself. Sometimes some things really happen for reasons unexpected. You may think it's because I advertise specific core skills, or because I mastered this software or that software or whatever. But at the end of the day, I want you to not underestimate also your soft skills. They are really just as important. They are the door openers, and that's also what sets you apart from the millions of freelancers that are out there. And from the impression I got talking to you, really, I love talking to you. I loved spending time with you. You are very, very, very friendly and very, very nice to talk to. Very, very knowledgeable, and I can see that. So that once again, it confirms why I'm working with Bangladeshi freelancers and engineers. And I hope there's going to be more collaboration in the future.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. You know, the other funniest thing is that might sound a bit too personal for you, but you know, most of us, when we're doing our honors, we also think of our masters as well. And most of us actually target our masters in Germany. We actually plan to do our masters in German. Myself, I was targeting like Stuttgart University and TUM as well, Technical University of Munich.
Yes.
But I'm more interested in the automobile program of RWP, if I'm not mistaken. There's another one, Russia or something, if I cannot recall that.
Yes, yes.
Most of us are.
Yes, yes, yes.
So we would like to end the session. What would be the one sentence that you could tell us in order to motivate us, just so that we may reach C1 level of speaking Deutsch? Okay, I can barely speak partly A1. Okay, ich spreche Deutsch, aber meine Deutsch ist nicht gut. Ich spreche kleine Deutsch.
Sehr gut. Nein, sehr gut. Das ist schon sehr gut.
Danke, danke. Vielen Dank. Vielen Dank.
I know. I mean, this is something. Obviously, Germany has got a certain reputation. I mean, the Technical University of Munich. That's just 60 kilometers from my hometown. I've been there a couple of times as well. It's a very nice university. I really look, because you already have a solid foundation in English, obviously, and now the gap from English to German, I would say, is. It's there. Obviously, there is a gap. I don't want to say that it's small, but you already have a firm grasp of the Anglo-Saxon grammar and of the I would say the way it's constructed, the syntax and everything. So that will surely help you. And it all comes down to really dedication. Your targets, if that is your target, it all comes down to dedication. Set up a routine. Don't think too much about it. The more you overthink it, you know, it's an idea gets first killed here. That's where an idea dies regularly. If you can keep it here, right, it will carry you. It will carry you, and then all it takes is dedication and discipline. Just set up a routine. Follow some courses, but do it regularly, and that will take you there. That will get you there. It will get you anywhere. I mean, if I was able to make a leap, and it was quite a huge leap from I'd say from a literature study to this field of work. If I was able to make such a leap, which for many people seems impossible, then I would say it's rather everything is possible. That the limits are just here. You are limiting yourself here. That doesn't have to be. The limits you feel yourself in are just set up by yourself. So once you stop believing in those limits that you've put upon yourself, you will be surprised at what you can achieve. It will be amazing. You will be able to achieve things that you didn't even believe were possible. And I certainly can speak for that. I mean, I speak also 4 or 5 languages, even though they are within the European language family. I haven't managed to master an Asian language yet. Not very well, a bit of Thai, but not very good. But still, it all comes down to discipline and your dedication and commitment. And really don't let yourself be held back by your preconceived ideas of what your limits should be. There are none. There are none. You just, if you have something in your heart, a passion, you let that lead you, and then you supplement it with discipline and commitment, and the rest will follow. And I give you my stamp and my confirmation for this. The rest will follow, right? So it's very much possible to achieve that. I've met also many engineers here in Thailand who have struggled with the same. Could I ever hope to go and study at a university in Germany, specifically maybe the TOEM? Yes, you can. Why shouldn't you be able to? Of course you can. The question you should be asking yourself is, are you ready to put in the work? Are you ready to put in the commitment it takes to bring your language level at what is required? So C1 would obviously be perfect for that. If you have C1, you are actually ready to go for the European language standard C1. But I guess already with B2, that's a lot that you can achieve with that level of language proficiency. So, and I'd say maybe within 2 years is something that you can achieve if you practice it regularly, if you commit to it on a day-to-day basis. Why not 1 to 2 years? And the rest, what will carry you is your skills and your talent that you've acquired already in Bangladesh.
So thank you very much for all the time that you have given us, sir. We really enjoyed this session. Like literally 42 of us were here. Many of them just got disconnected by internet problems. Again, sir, maybe next time we look forward to collaborate with you again.
Thank
It's
you.
a very beneficial session, and especially, and please don't underestimate your understanding of fire services here, because you see, us mechanical engineering students, we have various sectors to deal with: HVAC,
Yes.
fire services, automotive, aerospace. But
Yes.
fire service is something also that we have a lot of collaborations with, especially with
Yeah.
ASHRAE Bangladesh chapter.
Yeah.
Currently, the president of the ASHRAE Bangladesh chapter is also a fire services specialist.
Ah, okay.
So
Nice.
the Al Imran Hussein sir, this sir is very helpful for us, and
Nice.
we talk with him all the time. So
Nice.
we'll learn more about him. Perhaps we might be the next Tariqul Islam whom you see right now. So again,
Right.
this senior brother of ours who is our alumnus, he's been very helpful to all of us, and the fact
Thank
that
you.
you are helping us even further
I
makes
hope.
us feel more important.
I
So
hope.
again, sir, I wish we could say farewell the best way, even better than this. But as for now, it is just word and hearts that can do the best. So thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was my pleasure and my honor. And let's see if we can continue this collaboration some other time, of course. Anytime.
Inshallah, sir.
Thank you.
very
Thank you
much,
all.
sir.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Good luck
Have a
to all
good
of
day.
you.
Okay. Everyone, just say your greetings. Okay. Allah Hafiz.
So Sifat, can I take 2 minutes from you? So the session will go in for 2 minutes.